As I stood at the end of the hill, my heart pounded against my chest with a mix of nervousness and excitement. I couldn't believe that I was about to marry Thang, even if it was just for 24 hours. The weight of the contract marriage hung heavy in the air, but in this moment, all I could focus was the man waiting for me at the altar. Watching Ryan walk down the hill, my breath caught in her throat. She looked absolutely breathtaking in her wedding gown, and for a moment I forgot about the reason behind her union. All I could see was her radiant. When as I reached the young side, I couldn't help but steal a glance at him. His eyes were fixed with a mixture of emotion, determination, sadness, and something else I couldn't quite decipher. But amidst it all, there was Young. Taking my hands in mine, it felt a surge of warmth flood through me. Despite the circumstance that brought us together, I couldn't deny the connection I felt with her in the moment. I vowed silently to make this 24 hours when, as we exchanged words, the weight of the contract marriage grained in the back of my mind, but I pushed it aside. All that mattered was a promise we were making to each other to stand by each other's side for better or worse, if only for a fleeting moment. Young, with each word spoken, I found myself drawn further into Vine's world. Her sincerity and vulnerability touched something deep within me, awakening feelings I hadn't dared to acknowledge before. In that moment, I knew that this marriage, however temporary, both as we exchanged rings and sealed our union with time seemed to stand still. In that brief moment, we were no longer bound by contracts or obligations. We were simply two souls intervening the dance of fate. Tiang, I'm so happy that you are happy. Mrs. Kim holds Tiang in your hands, and the one in which you both exchange rings. Mrs. Kim, Tiang, your wife is very precious. I trust you will take care of her and yourself. Tiang nods, his eyes glistening with tears. Mrs. Kim, when I trust you won't make Tiang feel lonely, and you won't feel lonely either. Wine, yes, Wine nods. Mrs. Kim, Tiang, I know every moment you spend with Wine will be cherished forever. Mrs. Kim, my last wish has been fulfilled, and now I can peacefully leave this world. Tears well up in Wine's at Tiang's eyes. Mrs. Kim, Tiang and Wine, thank you for fulfilling my wish. Mrs. Kim, both Tiang and Wine signed, and Wine started crying uncontrollably. Tiang, Wine, you drink some water and sit down. Seeing Wine cry, Tiang gently guides her to sit on the bed and hands her a glass of water. Mrs. Kim smiles at this gesture. Sarah, sir, ma'am, lunch is ready. Please come and have it. Mrs. Kim, Tiang and Mama go and eat. You both must be hungry. Don't stay hungry. One shakes her head. One, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you. She continues sobbing, and Mrs. Kim tells Tiang to take one downstairs, and Tiang leads her downstairs. Tiang, one, don't grab while eating, or else. I was warning Wang, but as he was picking food, to get stuck in Wang's throat and just start choking. The Angwana told you, now we pour water into a glass and then hands it to Wine, gently putting her back. They eat slowly now, Wine. Then you are not eating. Then, no, I'm not hungry. Wine, but even during breakfast this morning, you only sat on the table with me and didn't eat anything. Then, when I told you I'm not hungry. Wine, alright, I'm not hungry either. Wine was getting up from the table when Tiang grabbed her waist. Tiang, when we were coming from the wedding, you were almost fainting in the car due to weakness, and now you are saying you won't do it. Wine, Tiang, I'm a wife only for 24 hours, but I promised my mom that I will take care of you, so Look at your face, how pale it has become. It seems like you have been in the hospital for months. You are not the same Kim Taeyang anymore. Wan places her hand on Taeyang's cheeks as she speaks. Taeyang, okay, but I don't feel like eating with my own hands, but I'm hungry. Wan, okay, Mitra. You want to eat from my hands, right? Taeyang jiggles slightly. Taeyang, you understand, Wan, of course, when my mom left me at that time, I used to miss her, and it felt like someone should feed me with their hands because I used to feel hungry, but I didn't have the appetite. Taeyang, thanks, Wan, okay, now open wide, there you go. Taeyang opened his mouth and Wan feeds him with her hands. Mrs. Kim, Sarah, Turman and Taeyang have lunch. Sarah, yes, Mrs. Kim. Taeyang and Wine are feeding each other. Mrs. Kim, hearing this makes me very happy. Smells. Wine, Taeyang, are you seeing? I have been wearing this wedding dress since morning and now I need to change it. Taeyang, okay, go change then. Wine, but what should I wear? I don't have any dress here. Taeyang, okay, come with me. I will give you some of my clothes. Wine screams when she got up from the dining table. Her foot got caught in the corner of the table and she fell down. Taeyang, are you okay? One shakes her head as Taeyang tries to help her, but she couldn't stand. Taeyang, no, it hurts a lot. Taeyang, okay then. Taeyang picks her up a brother steps, surprising Wine. Taeyang takes her to his room. One sit here. Taeyang helps her onto the bed. Why no, no, God, it hurts so much. It's okay, I will fix it now. One screams and Taeyang grabs her foot and moves it back and forth. Taeyang, One don't scream like that, it will be fine soon. Then One starts to feel relieved. It's better now. One smile and start waving her legs in the air. Thanks, Taeyang chuckles. Taeyang, here, take that. That's my wedding pants. You can change out of the wedding gown into this. Taeyang, okay, I will go to mom's room. Okay, you left. Oh shit, why did I come here? I should have gone to the bathroom in my room. How do I lock this now? I thought of quickly changing it then, but once she entered, she couldn't figure out how to lock the door. Seriously, how does anyone keep a bathroom door so strong? Never mind, I don't need to lock the door, I will just quickly change. I had pulled my gown down and now I was only in, and I was about to put on the shirt when the door opened and Taeyang was about to come in. I screamed and turned around. Taeyang apologized, his face turning red, and he quickly closed the door and left. After 5 minutes, I came out. Taeyang, you should have locked the door. Seriously, Taeyang, your front door is locked with a password. Taeyang, but if you want, we can change the lock on the door. Taeyang suddenly started to come closer to you. Taeyang, your back is now against the wall and Taeyang is looking directly into yours. Taeyang, what are you doing? Wine tries to push Taeyang away, but it is much stronger. Taeyang is looking deeply in Wine's eyes. Taeyang, whatever you want to say it quickly and step back. Taeyang, tears welled up in Taeyang's eyes. Wine quickly puts her hand on Taeyang's face and wipes away his tears. Taeyang, what happened? Taeyang, Mom found out. Wine's eyes widened. How they? Taeyang, I told Mom. I'm sorry, Wine accompanies Taeyang's uncontrollable tears and gently carries his checks. Taeyang, I couldn't hide it from Mom for long. Taeyang, now maybe Mom will hate both of us. No, she won't do that. Taeyang, Mom wants to see you. Tung, Wine, please stay like this for a while. Tung feels very warm, hugging Wine, and Wine gently kisses Tung's back. Wine entered Mrs. Kim's room. Wine, Mom, we are very sorry. Mrs. Kim, Wine, I know everything. Mrs. Kim face showed disappointment. Wine, actually, Mrs. Kim, Wine, I can't believe you both did this to me. Wine, we are sorry. Mrs. Kim, sorry. Mrs. Kim, you both were married only as long as I'm alive. Wine, Mom, you're misunderstanding. Mrs. Kim, Wine, what else I'm supposed to think? You two entered into a 24 hours contract marriage and you even become his hired wife. Wine, Mom, dear, I had no other option. Wine started crying hard. Wine, sorry. Mrs. Kim, Wine, please don't cry, dear. Wine, no, we made a mistake. Sorry, Mrs. Kim. Wine, you both complete this marriage if you want to. Wine looks at Mrs. Kim with tears streaming down her face. Wine, how? Mrs. Kim. Wine, Tung told me that he wants to continue being her husband even after the next 24 hours. Wine. Wine is confused. Mrs. Kim, yes, Wine, I can see in my son's eyes how much he cares for you. Wine, I don't understand what are you saying. Mrs. Kim, Tung also told me that he hasn't started to fall in love with you. Wine. Mrs. Kim smiled and Wine's heartbeat quickens. Mrs. Kim, Wine, now I want to ask you, do you also want to Tung's wife after the next 24 hours? You can lie to yourself that you also love Tung very much and you have been in love with him for a long time, but one Tung asked you to be his side wife for 24 hours, but one knew that they had no other option. One, yeah, Mom. One slowly nods. Mrs. Kim, great then. Mrs. Kim smiled. One entered Tung's room. One, Tung, One, what did Mom say? Tung rushes to her as he sees her. One, what did you told Mom? One cups his cheeks. Tung, everything. One, everything what? Tung, One, I really meant that. One, I'm falling in love. One, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to have a contact marriage with you from the beginning. Nor I did want to just hire with a wife. Tung, actually, One, I thought you weren't ready for marriage yet. One, Tung, she placed her finger on his lip. One, Tung, I don't just want to spend 24 hours with you, but I want to spend my entire life with you, and not as a hired wife, but as your real wife. Tung nods. Tung, of course, Mrs. Kim. Tung, what did Mom say? One, everything. Tung, what everything? One, she said she forgave us and wants 3 or 4 grandchildren. Tung raises eyebrow and then smirk. Tung, okay, but I don't think Mom said that. One frowns. Tung, she must have definitely said 8 or 9. One chokes on the air, her eyes widen in shock. One, shut up, Tung, I'm scared of you. One joke. Tung, really, but I thought you were strong, so Mom must have said 8 or 9. One, shut up, Tung. One cheeks turned red and she pushed Tung on a bed, but Tung grabbed her waist and they both crashed on a bed together. Tung, One, maybe we need to get ready from now on. One was on top of Tung and Tung's gaze was fixed on her lips. Tung, One, may I? One nods and Tung leans toward her. Sarah, sir, ma'am, please come quickly, Mrs. Kim. Tung pokes. Sarah shouted. Mine quickly moves away from me and we both rushed toward Mom's room. The doctor was already in Mom's room. Tung, Mom, tears uncontrollably streaming down my eyes. Doctor, Tung, your mom may only have few minutes left to leave. Mrs. Kim, and they always stay together. She smiles and Wine and Tung both nod. Tung and Wine stay with Mrs. Kim until her final minutes. 5 years later, Tung, Mama, you're here. Wine, Taya, be careful. Taya, Niyama have grown up now I can go to grandma's grave by myself. I don't need to go to bus lab like Diamond does. Taya says, looking at his sister. Diamond, why do we come here every year? Then, because your granny's grave is here. It was on this day that Appa and Yama become forever in each other's lives. Diamond looks toward her mom. Diamond, really mom, fine, here's my present. Taya, Diamond, come, hold my hand and come with me. I will take you to Granny's grave. Then Appa looked toward the son who was following his duty as the older brother. Dang, what are you looking at? Wine, the same thing you're looking at. Dang, chuckles. Dang, wine, don't you think we should start thinking about the remaining 6, 7?